Race 6 of the 2020 Global Series is about to get underway in Phillip Island, one of the iconic Motogp circuits. Hopefully it's going to throw up one of the iconic Motogp eSport races. Once again, it's that man Adrian on pole with his brother Christian alongside him, with Trastevere hoping to bounce back after Misano disappointment.
Sancho Queen lines up in 4th. Good lap from that man late in qualifying to take a second row grid slot. AndrewZH lines up in 5th. He's close to Trastevere on P3 as well. There goes 555 on the Aprilia once again. Good qualifying from that man.
Row through the grid, the hometown hero, Mr. TFTW, alongside him, Juan NH. Remember, he was back of the grid last time, but was still inside the top 5 after the opening couple of corners, so watch out for him, as you should do for Davide Galinia as well. Had a good performance last time out in Misano.
And on the back row of the grid, we've got a Honda duo in Moe in 10th, and 11th is Fuchs, the Brazilian, on the Repsol Honda.
So here we go then. It really is business time in the 2020 Global Series. Adrian once again starts from pole position, and once again it looks as though he's got a brilliant start. Brother Christian is going to go with him, as is Trastevere as well. Who's going to get the inside line as we flick right through Doohan for the very first time? And it's Adrian that takes the lead. Who's that that's gone down? It's AndrewZH. I cannot believe it. The champion of last year crashed out in Misano on the opening lap, and he's done it here in Phillip Island as well. I think we can safely say that his championship hopes over and done with for AndrewZH. He will not be a 2-time eSport champion.
100%, Jack. I think you've absolutely nailed it on there. I was watching him off the line as Moe just tags into and he goes down. So a good start from him is now completely struck from the record as he crashes out. But I was watching AndrewZH off the line and he just went nowhere. He got completely swallowed up going down to turn 1. And when you get yourself in that position, that's exactly what can happen. So AndrewZH is curtains for him. That is good night to him retaining his title this year.
Good night, Vienna, indeed. Despite double points being on offer at the final round, surely it is a insurmountable gap between himself and what will now be 6-7 riders in front of him in the championship. Here we go. This is a replay of exactly what happened between Moe and Ellie goes 555. One touch, then a second one, then a third one for good measure as well, and he eventually went down, did Moe, and dropped himself down to 10th. Ellie goes 555. Somehow, though, was able to stay upright with that little bit of contact, just causing a little bit of separation here. The top 3 of Adrian, Christian and Trastevere have broken clear.
Hold on, Jack. Look who's in 5th. It's Mr. TFTW, the Australian hero. Whoa! Juan H slides out and loses it at Doohan. That's a fast place to go down. I bet that one tickled a little bit. But Mr. TFTW, the Australian, the home race hero. He had his best race last year here, and he's looking to do it once again in the top 5. Congratulations. Great start from that man.
Sensational ride from Mr. TFTW, right on the tail of Ellie goes 555 as well. Brilliant, brilliant stuff coming in from the Australian. So far, so good for him. Let's hope he can carry on and get himself a first ever top 5 finish in the MotoGP eSport Global Series. Would be brilliant. So much improvement he has made since he made his debut in the Global Series last year. He's come on leaps and bounds, and he's a regular, consistent performer in the Global Series now. He might not have the pace to go with the top guys, but he's regularly challenging for the top 6 position. So this is a result, if he can hang on to it, of course, a long way to go, that it would definitely be deserving. At the front, though, as we've seen so often in 2020, is Adrian, followed by Christian, but Trastevere is desperately trying to get in amongst them and just disrupt their rhythm, because they've had it their own way pretty much all year long. Certainly at round 2 and here at round 3 so far as well. Those guys have been able to go out front and lead. So here we go then, Jack. Talk us through exactly what happened here.
Yeah, so AndrewZH just got a bit sluggish off the line, and he bumped into the back of Sancho Queen and then got bumped in the rear by, I think it was Juan NH, and then just got bumped wide by Fuchs on the Repsol Honda, and you saw that Ducati GP20 go skittling through the gravel trap. Absolute disaster, and you saw the frustration there with throwing his hands into the air.
Well, it's not your year, it's not your year, and I think that's exactly what we have to put it down to for AndrewZH. So much misfortune as he came off the line there first. Bumping and barging, goodness gracious me, what on earth happened there?
I think Fuchs' Repsol Honda just went flying over the whole circuit. I think it just skipped out the Honda hairpin and just thought, nah, I'm going straight trip to Siberia, mate.
Well, fair play. I mean, if you can pull it off, then you might as well give it a go. But luckily, everyone managed to avoid a low-flying Repsol Honda there. Goodness gracious me, it nearly took the head off a few riders. But they got away with it, and he's down to 8th now as a result of that crash. So it does promote AndrewZH back up to 7th, but it's not going to be enough. We saw the live championship pictures just a moment ago, and he's already more than 75 points adrift of our championship leader, Williams-Adrian, who, if things stay as they are, will take a brilliant and, well, I would say, looks like an untouchable 39-point championship lead going into our season finale. It's going to take something quite disastrous for him to lose out, even with double points on offer.
Yeah, certainly, Jack. I think you've just absolutely summed it up perfectly. When there's milliseconds between the top guys and the guys at the back of the grid in Motogp eSport, it's certainly going to be pretty impossible to claw back 39 points, even with double points on offer. As you look on your screen now, we do have the home race hero, Mr. TFTW, chasing down the man in front of him. Ellie goes 555 once again. A lot of body English going on. Veli goes for absolutely 0 from Mr. TFTW. Don't worry, his frame isn't frozen. That's just the way he races. But yeah, as we look back for him now, certainly he's coming down into Siberia now, and he's definitely closing in just that little bit on Ellie goes 555. So we'll wonder if he can get that Ducati hooked up onto the straight and launch down the inside at doing corner on the next lap.
Still a good performance coming in from Mr. TFTW there, as we're focusing on the man in second place at the moment. Christian, if anything, has lost touch from his brother. Adrian is away with it if things stay as they are. He's managed to just chip away once again. As we've seen so often this year, he's metronomic out front. It's Jorge Lorenzo S. Smooth as butter is Williams Adrian. Never misses an apex, and is just able to eke out a bike length here, a bike length there, before all of a sudden, without anybody realising, he's half a second up the road, and he's done it again here. 5 laps completed, half race distance now ticked off, and it looks as though it's Williams Adrian's day in the Phillip Island sunshine.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be. He just seems to have that ability to just waltz away from people. Oh, and AndrewZH has gone down again! I don't believe it. So even though already we said that his championship was over, he's now down in last place in 11th. He's only going to pick up 5 points. That is absolute smithereens. Completely gone now. AndrewZH's title hopes, well, they're pretty much 0. It's a disaster for the Ducati man.
Well, that's it, the final nail in the coffin for the Bologna man. It was a dream, a fairy tale 2019 for him. Just 18 years of age, winning the Motogp eSport Championship, the first one that Ducati had won in recent memory. And he was able to do it for his hometown factory as well. Brilliant scenes that we saw at the season finale in Valencia. We're not going to get those same scenes for AndrewZH. If anything, it's the polar opposite. At the moment, he's going to do well to finish inside the top 5 of the championship. It has been a 2020 to forget for AndrewZH. The same could be said at the moment for our two-time champion Trastevere. He's not given in just yet, though. This podium finish, well, he's going to lose further touch to Williams Adrian at the lead of the championship, but he's just about clinging on by his fingertips to that 2020 crown. It's certainly extremely unlikely that we're going to see him celebrating at our season finale, but he's given himself a glimmer, and it is the tiniest glimmer of hope.
Yes, certainly. And if we look at the championship standings and what this actually does for Trastevere in this race, that's P3 is massive for him because he's equal on points with AndrewZH, who's currently down in 9th. So AndrewZH, who's had a 4th and 2/3 in the last 3 races, has suddenly had a little bit of a loss of form. Obviously, he started at the back of the grid in this... sorry, no, he didn't. Where did he start?
He started on the 3rd row of the grid.
So he was fairly low down, but still, for Trastevere, this is a crucial race for him to maintain that P3 in the championship.
Yeah, it certainly is. It would mean that going into our season finale, he's 52 points adrift, so he's going to need something quite remarkable, not only to get in front of Williams Adrian, but going into that season finale, he'd be 18 points away from Williams Christian as well. So he would need a fair swing going his way. He'd need both of the brothers to have an off day in our races 7 and 8, our 2 end-of-season races. But, you know, stranger things have happened. As we say, as long as he's given himself that glimmer of hope, he will go in there with full confidence that he'll be able to hold on or try and pick up the crown that he lost last year. And that's the most important thing for Trastevere. You know, going into that season finale, if things stay as they are, he's got no pressure whatsoever. Nobody expects him to win. He's just got to go there and think, right, if I win both races, I've done my job, and whatever happens, happens. All of the pressure will be on Williams Adrian. So far, he's dealt with it, but we've not been at a championship winning stage just yet, and he's never been there before in his career. So how he will handle the pressure of being the favourite and the man that everyone expects to be crowned champion going into that season finale, well, it will have to just wait and see how he deals with it. But so far, so good for him. Meanwhile, back in that fight for the final place inside the top 5, still, it's going pretty well, pretty swimmingly for Mr. TFTW on home soil. He's the lead Ducati at the moment. What an honour that is, ahead of Davide Galinia on the Pramac Ducati with the factory Ducati, all the way down in 11th with AndrewZH. So, great performance from the eSponsorama Racing man.
Yeah, cracking performance, but I think this is the most pressure he's had in the race now, as Davide Galinia has clawed him in just a little bit. And we see Mr. TFTW, he went wide slightly at the Honda hairpin, but he cut it back for a late apex, but MG seems to have got it all sorted up by now. These two can't be too slack, though. They've got Sancho Queen just behind them, about a second further down the road, so no mistakes can be afforded if these two want to hold on to the top 6 finishing positions. It would be a solid result for the pair of them. Fantastic for Mr. TFTW, and certainly another great result for Davide Galinia. As we cut back to the front, he's on to the 8th lap of 10, so 3 laps to go, just under 3 now. And Williams Adrian, we saw on the last lap, he went slightly wide at MG, and it was kind of the first crack in the armour we've ever seen in this 2020 series. But I don't think it's phased him too much. He seems to have maintained that kind of half a second, 3/4 of a second buffer at the front, as William Christian still tries to reclaw that gap to him. As we look back to AndrewZH, down in 11th. Fortunately, he does have a few people in front of him. He's got Moe, Fuchs and WananH all in his eye line. And as we cut back to Trastevere, between talking about changing fortunes between our two champions, Trastevere, certainly as Jack said, the pressure will be off him in the final round. He can just go out there and try to do the business. But it's going to be difficult. It certainly is going to be difficult. The Williams guys, they've been sensational all year. And once again in Phillip Island, it doesn't matter what challenge you throw at them. We all said at the start of the race that this circuit was a leveller, but it certainly seemed to have kept the same level for Williams Adrian and Williams Christian.
Yeah, they're certainly flying at the moment. They have been untouched all year long, and it's continuing here in Phillip Island as well. Trastevere, he's running out of time, as you rightly say, Jack. He's going to have to find something, although a little bit of track limits from Williams Christian there. He just ran wide out of the final corner. Will give him a little bit of hope and a little bit of something to cling on to as we go into these final 2 laps of the race. Another touch of the green from Williams Christian certainly will make it interesting, and that's probably the only reason that he's doing that is because of the pressure that Trastevere is putting him under. He's not backed off. Has the number 73. He's sticking with it at the moment, just hoping that one mistake will come from either of the brothers out front and he'll be able to try and pounce on it.
Yeah, well, I'm quite impressed with Trastevere in this race. It seems weird to say that I'm impressed with Trastevere for maintaining the pace of the two Williams guys out front, but he's done exactly that, and we haven't seen it all year. Of course, in Global Series Round 1, he showed some flickers of what he can do, and we know that he's absolutely rapid. I mean, in the last couple of seasons, he's been the fastest guy, if not the second fastest guy, if not the fastest. And certainly this year, in this race, he's just had a couple of moments where he's maybe not been quite having a good session like you want to. Sometimes, you hop on, you play these racing games, and it can be very difficult to get in that groove. But it certainly seems he's refound it here in the 6th race of Global Series, as Williams Adrian actually set the fastest lap on that last lap. So certainly showing no signs of tension or nervousness as we now come down to the final lap. And if he can maintain this, he's going to be 39 points ahead in the championship of his brother, Williams Christian. And Christian, he's got a nice cushy buffer over Trastevere in 3rd as well. So certainly for those two, it really is kind of a tag team duo at the minute.
Incredible. Our maths, unsurprising, we were completely wrong earlier. We were looking at the championship results at the end of the last race, not what they are currently. Things stay as they are, as you rightly say. 39 points separating the two Williams brothers. Adrian 39 clear of Christian, with Trastevere 61 adrift of Adrian. So that shiny, the tiny little glimmer of hope we were talking about has just become even smaller as we go into the final half a lap here in Phillip Island. No mistakes all day long from Williams Adrian so far. 2 pole positions, 2 fastest laps, and, well, he's now ever so close to picking up 2 race victories. This is another show of dominance from Williams-Adrian, a championship performance, Jack.
Yes, certainly. He's just shown once again why he is that step above everyone else in this series. He's only been beaten once so far, if he can hold this to the line. 5 wins out of 6. It's absolutely phenomenal from the KTM man. All the KTM bosses will be watching this. If they are, they'll be absolutely grinning from ear to ear as they see their man. Cool, calm and collected round the final corner. It's going to be this man to take victory.
It's a fantastic 5 wins in 2020 for Williams-Adrian. He puts one hand on the 2020 Global Series trophy. Williams Christian second once again, with Trastevere back onto the podium for the first time since round 1 of the Global Series to keep his hopes alive.
And rounding them out then, Ellie goes 555, picks up 4th with the Australian hero, Mr. TFTW in 5th, Davide Galigna, Sancho Queen, 1NH, Moe, a disaster for AndrewZH, and Fuchs round them out in 11th.
So before we head to the season finale, it now means that 2 podium finishes for Williams-Adrian will make him our 2020 champion. It's as simple as that. He can finish 3rd in both races and he will be our king of Motogp eSport in 2020.